What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob? Giving the hammer fists on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the superstars with kids out there and honorary fathers, all the jazz. Hope you guys had a great day. Enjoyed the beautiful weather. We had some beautiful weather. Hopefully you had the same wherever you are today. If you haven't already, please don't forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post about your favorite project. If it's Veve, you will have had the bell on. You would know we posted a Veve video. Also, become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button underneath the video. I think there's 2 days until we got that 1-year membership badge coming through. I think it's the 20th. I think so. We will find out. But also, first dibs on merch. Star in the universe at the end of every single month. Any new utility that we might bring over the next couple days, you're going to want to be in the VIP. It's going to help you out. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Discord in the description down below. That Discord has everything in it. Everything. It's a one-stop shop. It's the Walmart of Discords. Trust me. You're going to want to be there. And also, we have a P.O. box. Send us something. Become a superstar Hall of Famer. Rob,
you gotta join. I'm doing good. You gotta join the Discord. There's a lot of talks right now. You got channel after channel, all our favorite projects in one spot. You know, you go to these different projects. You only have that project there. That's it. Sometimes you want to go somewhere where you have other like-minded people that all like the same projects as you. Join the Discord. It's a great place to speak with some really, really cool superstars.
Yep. All right, let's jump into the VV news. Let me pull it up like this, a little bit bigger.
Nice.
Anyway, so today was the Ron English, that monkey drop here where they had Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, See No Evil, that one. And then they had like the Ronald McDonald versions. I thought they looked pretty cool. I mentioned it yesterday, but did not go for this drop. How about you?
Well, I wouldn't go for it because we know that in the world of, these drops, especially if they're priced unreasonably, they tend to go underlisted. Gems right now are hard to come by, so I didn't really want to gamble on any of them, but always liking the McDonald's themed things. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of a new thing for VV too to have that, even though it's not like true McDonald's, right? It's not true McDonald's IP. It's just cool to have that flavor, that Ronald McDonald stuff on it.
Yeah. No, it's the quality really, really cool on them too. So shout out to Ron English. He's been on the channel before. He's a superstar. Everybody knows. Right. So no, it was a good drop. Maybe in the secondary market, I saw these ones are going for pretty cheap, like $11. I think the secret rares are going like 45. Yeah, and box is 25. So it's pretty much as expected over there. Yeah. Veve put this out. Veve Las Vegas. So they're in Vegas. They're at the Ubisoft booth. We do know that they have Ubisoft as a licensing partner already. So they're mentioning wonder what's next. That could mean IP. A lot of people speculating if it will mean any type of gamification. I don't know if I would go that far yet, just because it's not kind of like how these collectibles have been built from scratch. But you never know. Maybe they will have some type of token gating thing down the line. And hopefully Ubisoft has given them some great advantages just because they're licensing partner. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, I saw that Veve posted this, and kind of what was said threw me off a little bit, just because, they show a photo of, obviously, David and Dan with Ubisoft, and it's kind of a hype photo. But the problem is that in what they said is wonder what's next. It's a little bit misleading, in my opinion, just because, we don't know what's next. I mean, it's like fuel to the fire of speculation. So sometimes Veve gets themselves in trouble with those kind of posts, but it's good to see that they continue. I mean, they are the masters of licensing, so that we cannot count Veve out when it comes to securing partnerships and licensing. So clearly Ubisoft's a big deal, and then it has that gamification flavor to it, which we know Veve is aiming for at some point. So hopefully that will lead to some kind of gamification in the future and bring some more utility to these collectibles.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Hopefully that, I mean, I wonder if it would be, if there is some type of gamification coming, if it would be limited to Ubisoft licenses because of that. That's why I always prefer to have like in-house development on a project like this, just because then I think you can kind of spread it amongst the IP that agrees to use your platform. But I mean, any type of utility for collectibles is something that I'm really excited to see. So hopefully that is what they're discussing, and hopefully not just new IP, but I mean, even if it is that, I'm sure it'll hype up a bunch of people.
Yep, agreed.
Yesterday also discussed the Thanos airdrop. I ended up selling my my secret rare today for 600 gems, which looks
Nice.
like so far is a good deal. I've seen it going in the 500s, but 1,000 mints, so you never know. I mean, people could pick it up. It could become the next meme collectible.
No, but
And,
a thousand's a lot though. In the
right now,
VV world, yeah.
In today's market, it is. But also, I mean, it is what it is. I recuperated more than what I paid for the Eye of Agamotto. So now everything else is gravy. And the gravy we talked about in yesterday's video. We're going to get to that in just a second. But in case you guys didn't see that, we talked about it already. Happy Father's Day to everybody celebrating. Also, X-Men 130 coming, first appearance of Dazzler. Asked you guys to answer that in the comments if this was a big character.
Ian Barnes.
Ian Barnes came through. I saw
Ian
that.
Barnes. Yeah.
He mentioned that him and his friends used to collect, and he was collecting because this was his crush. And he said his friend ended up doing very well, and he ended up with a bunch of Dazzler comics. So not very sought after comics from that comment, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's just funny that he of course our comic book consultants always come through, and Ian Barnes was the one who just came through recently. So I guess I wasn't there for that video. I guess you asked the audience.
I never heard of Dazzler. That's why I wanted to know a little bit about it. I know who better to ask than the audience, and they came through as usual.
Yeah, of course.
Veve puts out this little cryptic tweet here. It's a lab coat, I guess a vial, and then a boom. A lot of speculation. Some people thinking it's the Hulk. My Collectibles was shutting down that it's the Hulk because he says that it's like a radiation thing and not really a chemical or whatever that gets him turned into the Hulk. See, it's not a potion. It's gamma radiation, so shouldn't be the Hulk. But a lot. I saw a great response from Alex and Crypto. He thinks that it's Rick and Morty, and I think that could be true. I mean, you know that Rick's wearing that lab coat all the time. There's actually an episode of him holding the green vial. I don't know. I think that'd be a cool drop for them to drop because, like, obviously, Rick and Morty, if you don't know, is like a huge Funko Pop line. Like, it's one of their biggest lines for an individual series. So, it'd be really cool to see it come to Veve if it did. Yeah,
Rick and Morty is pretty popular IP, but my mind did go to She-Hulk right away because in the She-Hulk show, the whole thing goes around actually creating serum from the Hulk, the main Hulk, and then you can inject it. And actually, one guy figured it out, injects himself with it, and becomes kind of like the villain Hulk, right? So. My mind went Hulk as well when I first saw that, but we'll see. A
lot of people with you on that. So maybe we'll get that variant of Hulk. Who knows? I love when they do that. It's a little fun game when they put the emojis. I think that they should do that more often.
We all like riddles.
Yeah. We know Puddin' Cheeks is the king of riddles. Maybe they can get him involved and just make it like ridiculously cryptic, and it might take 3 days to solve. But those are always fun. I like this. This is actually something that we retweeted as well. G Metals, last year he landed this while hanging out with his kids and his father. This year his dad is no longer with him. So it's special to him because his dad was there when he was landing the drop. So shout out to you. Alex and Crypto just spoke about him. He did a Luke versus Darth Vader drop or video. He's becoming cinematic master.
He is now. Very clever. On Father's Day, he wants to do this. Is very, very clever, Alex and Crypto.
Yeah, so definitely go check that out. Put the sound on and give him a like for sure. Vibes, man. We met him at Decon. He's just got Miles Morales jumping around a museum over here. Looking fantastic. So that is the Veve Twitter. Jumping back over, we talked a little bit about the Thanos drop, but we didn't elaborate unless you saw yesterday's video. Rob and I landed back-to-back mints, but not just any back-to-back mints. Rob, why don't you explain?
Well, I remember I got a notification on my phone that Veve gave you an airdrop. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. That must be my Thanos. So I click it. It took a while to get through. Finally, I guess because like some overload, it took like I wasn't able to see anything. And then eventually I got through and I'm like, whoa, look, I got number 49. Right away, I take a screenshot. I sent it to Joe and I'm like, hey, Joe, check it out. I got number 49 Thanos. He's like, no way. I got number 50. And I'm like, what? How is this possible that we got back-to-back low mints for Thanos? And we have a theory, and our theory, I mean, what's your leading theory? I'll tell you mine actually after you. What's your leading theory, Joe? Well,
I think that it's probably rigged so that Veve just gave us the mints because they really love watching us, and it's their appreciation for how much great content that we put out. But I think your explanation might be the actual truth.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible at this point. I don't think that is the case. I think what happened was I remember Joe and I waited to do any crafting, and then in early May we decided that we were going to do the crafting. Now, somebody had number 42, and they tweeted at us, and we asked them, what day did you mint? And he said he minted on May 23rd. I went back into my WhatsApp messages with Joe, and I found that we actually were minting around May 22nd. So what I think is possible that, and I don't know if it's immediately the last mint going backwards, but there is a possibility that they just like Joe and I minted side by side. Nobody minted in between us. Even though there was like a day, it was maybe a day apart from each other. Nobody minted in between us. And they just went from the last person who crafted and they just walked backwards. So if you minted really early, you probably got a high mint. If you minted later, you probably got a lower mint. Now, this is just a theory. There's no evidence of this. I just thought it was so coincidental that me and you were side by side. We crafted pretty much within a day apart, very later on when the hype was done. And then on Twitter, we have confirmation of someone even lower than us that minted a day after us.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, maybe Veve, I thought maybe they picked a spot on the crafting list and then they just walked backwards and just gave it out. So it's not actually a randomization of the list of crafting. It's you pick a spot and just go down the list. And you would think that if you have a queue, as the queue adds up, at the end, the last person who crafts at the top of your queue of your ledger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, okay, from the top down, start handing it out. It may have just been the easy way out for Veve than to actually go through some kind of automated randomization process. This is what I think it is. I personally think that there was no favoritism here, but we have no evidence. Maybe it is, but we definitely think that it's probably related to us just crafting so late. And who knows, maybe this is a lesson for future airdrops. Maybe you actually should wait until the very, very last moment.
In reverse order. Now, I think it's cool that you mentioned that, because crafting, the way that they do the airdrop is clearly different than before, because before they didn't know how to do an airdrop. They couldn't take those snapshots. This clearly worked out perfectly. I sold my animated gauntlet. I'm sure if they were doing it the old way, it would have been a complete disaster because they couldn't track it. They were having issues, right? This way here, you're right. They might have just populated a list and then been like, boom, bam, bing, started from the top down. And it could have worked like that, or it could have just been some superstar money juju, which we know exists and we believe in it. So that is why we got the low mints. I think that's probably the most likely reason, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, juju is real. It's confirmed all over the place. It's confirmed. So since juju, I think Reese has confirmed juju is real. Will has confirmed juju is real. Fonz has confirmed it. So everyone's confirming it's real. So it must have just been some good juju from me and you.
Yep. This was funny. Splint posted his Thanos. He was grilling it up today for everybody. So Saturday grill time for this awesome airdrop. I thought that was pretty funny because it looks pretty good. The quality on that Thanos is really good. And you can tell he's like about to flip the burgers. It's a perfect angle.
Well, in typical fashion, whenever Veve is doing some kind of character who's not truly human, they always tend to have better quality than the one that actually have like a human face. So it doesn't surprise me that Thanos looks as good as he does.
Then this is actually funny because we just saw something 5 minutes before posting this video, but Bonesby replies to us getting the back-to-back mints and says, who says juju isn't real? Tell me now. Congrats on these insane polls. So remember that for 5 seconds from now.
Superstar Bones.
Greg McClure also getting low mint matching Thanos's. So congrats to you.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day from Superstar Money. This is something I did yesterday. I don't know if you saw the video yet.
I saw it. It was hilarious.
I posed so that people could put things in my hand.
Oh, nice.
Bonesby threw up their Cryptoids Ambassador in there. So that came out cool. If you guys want to go and do your own little things, let's keep it PG. But I think that's a fun little game over there.
Put a little Woody right there.
Come on. Here's Cryptoids. Yes, he is their father. I thought that was great too. Play on it.
Yeah, this is.
They
jokes.
also have him in a different position than I've ever seen. So that they're able to manipulate these collectibles.
Yeah,
he's sitting on a bench.
They did you're right. They did a really good job with that. And of course, I love that it's Star Wars drop and they have the two kids right there.
Yeah. So
really, really cool that they did that. It just the IP just plays right into the Father's Day.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. We talked about that already. This is Cryptoids responding to Will with another Star Wars gift, so I thought that was cool. We talked about G Metals, more Juju for more superstars, Bob Sales landing the Seeker Rare. So shout out to you.
Good.
He's
I
been
always
getting
like
secret
it.
rares like crazy, by the way. He's been.
I don't know how he's
handling
doing it. He is he's getting a secret rare like every drop. Every
Yep.
drop he's landing it.
This was us asking Veve what's going on with those emojis.
Yeah.
Travel Legend, shout out to you. He created a new YouTube channel. It's called Veve Creators, and he just blasted all the YouTubers that he follows. You'll see us in here somewhere as well. But he's doing a lot of shorts in there. There we are. He's doing a lot of shorts, and it's good fun. So whenever you see a new YouTube channel pop up, you should definitely go check it out.
For sure.
Another superstar, Guri, having fun with the purple Lambo and Thanos. He's saying like these seats don't recline.
He did a good job with that. He did a really good job with that.
Fits in there perfectly. I didn't think he would be able to get in the door for sure.
Yeah, good job.
And we mentioned Bones B earlier. We mentioned him shouting out the Juju, and I mean, you can't even make this up. You cannot make this up. The stars are aligning like crazy right now. Right now, there is like maximum Juju in the air. I don't know what is happening, but
Bones is a big believer in Juju. He's a massive believer in Juju. He's constantly screaming Juju, claiming Juju. Just like you said, remember, you just went over a post where he was talking about Juju.
Look at this. This is a 1% chance. A 1% chance to get an Ultra Grail.
He probably was going nuts. He was definitely screaming Juju in that moment.
He hashtagged it already.
Juju, just going nuts.
He knows it. So congrats to Bones. You are in the Ultra Grail Club on the Cryptoids app, and we are very jealous right now.
But he knew that the Juju was on his side. He knew that he had the Juju on his side. So that's why he had the feeling. He had a feeling because he knows Juju's real.
Exactly. And there's our Cryptoids link in case if you were planning to buy one, you don't have to do anything. But if you were planning to buy one, you want to support the channel, you can always click that link.
That's it.
All right. So Rob, why don't we get into the meat and potatoes here of the video? You guys clicked on it. You saw the title. What we're trying to talk about here is basically the future potential of the comic books on Veve, and not just like the garbage, or not the garbage, but like the cheaper books that have less interest. Those books are for the MCP. Everybody knows that. But there's other books on this app that are like decent sized comics that at least when I think about it, I'm like, where is this going? And unless we get massive users jumping into this app, some of these have huge editions. Some of them, like they're just more expensive. Why are we going to be holding on to some of these more prominent comic books? I'm struggling to see the reasoning, bro.
Well, the thing with comic books, the argument, if you remember not too long ago, the argument was the problem with collectibles is that collectibles, if you're buying them, they don't really have any true utility. They're going to continue going down in price, and that's pretty much the best they're going to be. But on the flip side, people would argue that, well, comics utility is completely revealed now. And you actually have comics, and they have a real life physical comic book that also exists. You can measure value from the physical world, and that value from the physical world will help hold the value of the comics. But here's the problem. The problem is that as time goes on, there's only so many old, crusty users that can keep trading the same stuff over and over again. And because we're in the bear market, at this point is we're in deep. Maybe there's some recovery that we're seeing, but a lot of the collectibles on the Veve app will continue to decline in price unless there's new users and new money that comes into the app that can help sustain these prices. And things have calmed down quite a bit, but if you do look at it week after week, the trend continues, right? The trend continues. Although it's not at the same slope as we saw in maybe last year at this time, but you still have decline in prices. So then the question then becomes, okay, your stuff is declining in prices. Superstar Money's done like 8 videos already that says your Veve collectibles are going to zero. And unfortunately, none of us have a crystal ball of when that's going to flip. So you may be better off just going for plays that we have evidence right now actually work. And what we noticed is that collectibles that get some random utility, those ones pump. So the moment, let's say, you can craft for something, it pumps. And we saw that with the Thanos drop, right? With the crafting of the Infinity Gauntlet. The moment you needed something to craft, it went 3 times in price. Crypto Pro was laughing because he stacked Electras, right? And he just flipped them right away. So that's one play that we know in this current market you can actually capitalize on some gains, which is very important. The other one would just be it could be anything when it comes to the memes, right? Like for whatever reason, the market has a random appetite for some collectible. They take it, they run with it, and then that collectible has a little bit of a pump. So you basically are almost better off on the collectible side where you can get some chance at some random utility, whereas the comics, there's really nothing changing. They are what they are. They're just going to be what they are right now. And then even in the Vverse, I'm not convinced that you're going to have that much more utility with them than you would outside the Vverse. They are what they are. So the value now is very, very fixed, and there's really no place for future utility. What do you think, Joe?
I think it's very, very heavily dependent on how many new users come into the app. There's if there were to be utility for comics, and let's say it was going to be burn 5 comics to get A comic or B comic or C comic, whatever it is, I would see that being something that people use lesser sought after comics as well. Like, people aren't going to want to burn more expensive stuff. So to me, it's like, what is the point of having Fantastic Four #5? That's an example. What is the point of having some of these other comics? Because I see no future utility, like in terms of crafting, in terms of burning. Like, what is the point of that stuff? Unless they say only if you burn from these tiered comics, and then they give out a list like they did for the Soulstone. If they say like, only if you burn Marvel Comics 1, if you burn FF1, if you burn FF5, then you have access into this. I don't see them doing that though. And to me, it's like holding that. You're just holding something that's going to erode and erode and erode and erode and erode, unless they somehow find the miracle juice that brings in millions of users here to make those 30 and 60,000 comic drops worth it. Even Amazing Fantasy 15 might be the anomaly, just because right now there's a lot of people with that. That's only 10,000 mints. And if you wanted to hold one long term, that would probably be the one, because that'd be the first one that people look at. I would have said MC1 in the past, but that's 6 times as scarce, less scarce. So I mean, it's to me, that's the one. If you're gonna hold one, I have one. I don't know if I should be keeping it. Like, what's to stop it from coming down in price? If there's nothing that is gonna potentially come to that, unless maybe you needed to gate into the VVverse. But when's the VVverse coming? Like, this is what we're getting at. It's what is the point of holding on to these collectibles that are just gonna keep cutting down in value? Why not sell them off? Buy some collectibles like Rob mentioned that maybe have a chance at some kind of utility. Again, it would be a speculation play. Like lightsabers right now is a hot one because there's so many of them, and we've heard the CEO talk about being able to use them with collectibles in the future. We haven't yet to see that happen, but one would think that it would eventually happen. They did deliver on the Gauntlet drop, and that was something that they previously mentioned. There's other things. There's other items that have some spec. You can always come up with a spec play. Platinum moments aren't done yet. Maybe there's going to be something if you have whatever platinum moments exist. I think that there's a bunch of things that you can make up a utility in your head and in your mind, and some might be a little bit more possible than others. But when I look at comics that are not MCP valuable or cheap comics that you can use for burn and craft, I'm struggling to find a point of holding anything.
Well, that's the thing. Joe and I were talking about it, and we need your help. Like, we were saying, should we be selling some of our A-tiered comics, some of our S-tiered comics? Because the only opportunity to capitalize on anything with these comics would be holding long-term when more users come on app. Whereas if you, let's say, flip this for 360 right now is the floor price. If you are big onto MCP, there's future MCP capabilities and benefits that are going to come. So would you be better off flipping this, taking those 360 gems and buying MCP? Would you be better off buying, like you said, lightsabers, collectibles on the market that we believe have an opportunity at more utility? Are you better off flipping this and buying? I forgot to mention, Joe, the other things that tend to do really well are very scarce collectibles. Mm-hmm. Like we saw that with Skywalker, right? Took a while for the market to stabilize, but then because of how scarce it is, and as more and more people bought it who actually wanted to keep it, it became very expensive and the price ran. So are you better off selling something like this that has 10,000 mints, getting that gems, and then going after something more scarce like a Luke Skywalker that in the long term will remain scarce, even though it doesn't have utility? So you can go for the lightsaber route, which you think hopefully you're going to get utility, you stack that, or you can go the scarce route. But if you stay in Amazing Fantasy 15, you will not be able to capitalize on any utility or scarcity. So, and if the market's going to run, then the other things that you're buying are going to run with it anyways. Mm-hmm. So if this is going to run, so is Skywalker. If this is going to run, so is the Saber. So just based on the state of the market right now, what do you guys think? Like, do you think that we should go and sell some of our S-tiered, A-tiered comics and raise some gems and raise some funds and then buy scarce or utility potential and speculate on utility potential collectibles. Let us know what you guys think below, because it's a tough decision for us because we love these collectibles, but at the same time, we're not really sure we see the future with them, or at least in the near future, we do not see any potential way to capitalize until this whole industry goes on another run, right? So let us know what you guys think. We want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash subscribe button, join the superstar fam, hit the bell notification once you get every single video every single day. We're going to keep it coming every single day. We do not miss. We are here for you. And also thank you to our superstar VIPs. $2.99 a month, get the star beside your name, access to our spreadsheets, giveaways. We want to bring as much utility to the VIP membership as possible, and we're trying to come up with new creative ways to do that. Hopefully to have an announcement on that soon enough. So thank you to all our VIPs, and take care, everybody. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Love you.